don't stand there looking like a frightened deer. I don't bite. You must be my midnight sloth. Well, take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. I hope you don't mind me saying, but you smell wonderful. Why, you smell almost human. You are human. You're very far from home, little lamb, and alone, no less. I see you have some tattoos already. Exquisite choices. Very flattering on you. Do you have a rough idea of placement or design for this tattoo? Dark color scheme to flatter the contours of your body. Of course. I'm certain we can find something that will suit you beautifully. I have several designs I could show you. Perhaps spark some inspiration in that pretty little mind of yours. How does that sound? Perfect. Well, why not remove that coat and scarf of yours? You must be quite warm in here. We'll get comfortable and come a little closer, and we can get started. You do have a lovely face. Jaw, cheekbones. Perfect. First, we have these two designs. Perfect for accentuating your lovely fingers. They're quite similar, both taking inspiration from Gothic architecture, as you can see. On this hand, you'll see around the thumb silhouettes of a town lit in the moonlight, crescent moons here and there, and a smattering of stars. Moving on to the index finger, we have a briar rose rising from the nail, two black roses in full bloom, and a rosebud just above the knuckle. Now, at the central finger here, you'll see it forms a central point for this design, with its tall, pointed tower, reminiscent of the age-old cathedrals of Europe, and the foreboding, yet romantic shadows they cast. The ring finger is adorned with a long stemmed rose, the tip of its stem, coming ironically to a crucifix. And finally, the little finger adorned with a towering silhouette, this time with the stained glass window and 5 points on its roof. Moving on to the next sketch, we have again an architectural silhouette, this time cascading across the knuckles. Leaving plenty of negative space across the majority of the fingers, with these elegantly placed bats just below the upper knuckle. Some small black inkwork dripping down from the nail bed. I do apologize, I appear to have spilt some wax on my parchment. Next, we have these 2 more detailed pieces. This time, each designed with both hands in mind. First, we have what is known as the markings of a caster. These tattoos are highly sought amongst those that practice blood magic. Red ink forms these shapes across the back of the hands and up the knuckle and up the fingers, with crescent moons on the ring finger knuckle. These tattoos act as power conduits and can be used to draw the blood of those nearby for whatever purpose the magic wielder may desire. Perhaps not particularly useful to you, however. At its side, we have this set with a scarlet rose on each hand, leaves sprouting here and there from them in all directions, and thick black line work, with the majority being on the fingers. Some prefer symbols, while others hidden messages. we have a larger piece designed to be placed on the underbust, though it could easily be adapted for other placement, such as just below the clavicle, should you prefer. This piece incorporates more color, as you can see, with this poised spider in rich magenta purple tones. Its legs arching up and down, forming this beautiful shape that nestles perfectly at the center of the design. From its jaws dangle strings of black beads, as if weaving an exquisite web of jewels. At either side, we have these dual-toned roses, the smaller in hues of black and deep red, and the larger with tones of purple and red, tying the overall color scheme together beautifully. Next, we have another sketch, again designed for placement in the underbust. As you can see, we have a large bat with tattered leather wings and wide red eyes. Dangling from its head, you'll see an inverted crucifix with a teardrop cut gem from its base. Similar to the previous piece, we have delicate black pearls dangling elegantly from the wings. This piece also features 14 individual rubies, giving this design an exquisite sense of opulence. Next, we have this sketch designed to be placed across the top of the shoulders, leading up the back of the neck, with its tail down the spine. I'm not sure how to best describe this piece, other than perhaps Lovecraftian in nature, with this ominous being looking looking in all directions with its glowing eyes. 3 sets of leathery wings reaching out in flight. Almost a sort of antithesis to seraphim, if you're familiar with those. I realize this may be more of an acquired taste for some, but I think you could pull it off if you're bold enough. Next, we have this ornate chest piece that covers the upper chest and shoulder, up the throat, and framing the jawline. This style always reminds me of the tendrils of a pumpkin intertwining amongst itself, leaves curling here and there, inward and toward the most detailed portion of this piece, which is inked directly up the center of the throat. Contouring beautifully the body's natural shape with this crimson filler ink. This piece can easily be customized or simplified to best complement your style and body type, but I find generally this style is complementary to most. Up next, I thought I would show you some smaller designs, excellent for filling space, perhaps on a sleeve or even on their own, if you aren't quite ready to commit to a longer session tonight. First, we have this heart design in a deep burgundy with ornate golden framework curling around the shape of the heart, and 3 traditional style roses with soft mossy green leaves. At its side we have a pair of crimson glossy lips, perhaps tinted by more than simply lipstick, pearly whites, and a single bloom perched elegantly in their treacherous maw. Coming down, we have this emerald green planchette with its swirling evoking thoughts of absence, perhaps. 3 crescent moons at its center, and again, golden framework, contrasting elegantly against the rich green hues. Just below it sits an eye, ominous black, the crimson iris staring into your very soul, and thorned branches cascading upward at either side of the planchette. And finally, we have this rather more detailed piece featuring an antique bottle whose contents appear to be somewhat ambiguous. Is it perfume or poison? Not knowing is, of course, part of the fun. The bottle itself is inked in this deep maroon with an aged parchment label featuring a skull and 2 roses. A teal ribbon is bound at the neck of the bottle, and a large piece of garnet sits embedded in its opening as an extravagant stopper. At its side and base we have berries and a variety of foliage, perhaps reflecting the contents of the bottle in question. Wisps of black smoke billow up, leading to a crescent moon of obsidian black. Next, we have a larger piece, yet again designed to be placed on the arm or leg. It can be adapted to wrap around the full circumference of the limb using black faded ink or blend it out. Its central focus is this rose bush featuring 15 blooms of varying fruition and size, petals fluttering down as if caught off guard by the night breeze, and rising up from the center of the tallest rose, a lick of flame, illuminating this arched window in the background. This piece evokes thoughts of Victorian literature with its darkly romantic aesthetic, which I find equally complementary to masculine and feminine limbs alike. we have another piece designed with a similar placement in mind, though I dare say it would look ravishing on the upper thigh. The central focus of this piece comes in a coffin-shaped frame. The skeleton lies at the forefront, with toadstools protruding from its head, and a stake where its heart once was. Reflecting the ever-present cycle of life and death. A dark tombstone looms in the distance, with 4 more, each emerging from the forest earth, shrouded by low-hanging mist. The sky looms red in these woods, contrasting richly against the dark tree line. At either end of this piece, we have these pale pink peonies, adding a touch of sweetness with little smatterings of Amanita medica erupting from the frame. Our second to last sketch is a rather ambitious piece. As you can see, it covers the full width of the décolletage all the way up to the jawline, down the shoulders, coming to a point at the center of the ribs. It has a great variety of details within it. At either shoulder, woven branches and foliage, coming inward towards this fleur-de-lis pattern, with an inverted stained glass window at its center, serving as the base from which these delicate strings of rubies cascade across the wearer's ribs. Coming up past the collarbone, you see a sort of heart shape with an ornately crafted lock at its center. And at last, our final sketch of the evening, a piece I refer to affectionately as the eternal embrace. Here we have this opulent hand mirror, perhaps fashioned from tarnished silver with tangling beadwork here and there. And leaf detail forming the base of the frame, but more importantly, of course, is the image pictured within. And you'll likely notice at first this scarlet-haired maiden dressed in white, no doubt indicative of innocence soon to be lost, and the creature that holds her in its fatal yet irrefutable embrace. A gloved hand at the nape of her neck, as the patient jaws of her captor enclose upon her. Now, I do hope that was somewhat helpful in your decision. If I may be so bold, might I suggest a chest or neck placement? You have such lovely features. Why not accentuate them? I find placement on the throat can contour the jawline beautifully, not to mention the décolletage, something similar to the red and black floral piece, perhaps. The curls and vines. Simple but elegant. Perfect. Now, would you prefer that I draw you up a sketch, or allow me free rein to do as I please? Good choice. You'll just have to trust me. Now, my methods of transferring ink to your flesh is likely quite different to any parlors you might have attended in your realm. You see, I practice an ancient technique known as pictura sanguinis, which roughly translates to a painting of blood. Now, it's not as grim as it sounds. I do not need to pierce your flesh for this technique. I simply apply a special mixture of pigments and herbs to your skin, as if I was painting a canvas, but within a few hours the special pigment will draw fresh blood to the area, scarring the tissue in the pattern laid out by the paint mixture. This is why most of my designs feature black and red ink, as these are the colours most easily replicated by your blood. You understand? Good, good, good. You needn't worry about pain either, at least in theory. I don't get many of your kind in here, but if you're willing to take a risk, I'm sure I can make it worth your while. Perfect. Some have even described it as a sensation of letting go. You might find it quite relaxing. When you're ready, why don't you remove any articles of clothing to allow me full access to this portion, and I'll be with you in a few moments. Are you cold? I struggle to tell such things. You know, I can't recall the last time one of your kind came to me for my services. I'm not sure what amuses me more, your naivety or your sheer lack of self-preservation. Tell me about yourself. I see. You lie awake at night, pondering the meaning of your existence, longing for more, no doubt. Such is the bittersweetness of mortality. A candle in the wind, beautiful but fleeting. I dare say, I see something in you. A fire, perhaps not so easily snuffed out. How old am I? Older than you think. You wouldn't believe the wonders a liquid diet can do for your skin. Feel free to relax. Let your mind simply drift away. I'll tell you a story if you like, to pass the time. There was once a child born into squalor, begging for scraps, chastised by those that saw the child as nothing but a stain, a reminder of a failing society. The child became a woman in a world where a woman was only as valuable as the dowry her hand accompanied, existing both unseen and seen by those with the intentions to take, leaving naught but a few coins for her trouble. Many moons passed, and with it great unwellness, the consequences of an existence in the dark and forgotten places. There she lay, her eyes affixed to the rumbling, dark sky, as crimson droplets stained her handkerchief. There from the darkness, a gloved hand, and with it a voice, like liquid honey, that hissed in melodic tones, like a siren beckoning from the misty depths. Doth thou wish to live? And from broken and stained lips, she simply replied, yes. Do you hear that? The gentle rain on the cobblestone outside. It was a night very much like this one. I do hope you brought something to keep yourself dry in that storm. I believe I might have a cloak you can borrow if you need to. You know, one of the things I miss about being mortal is dreaming. The ability of the human mind to conjure visions as the body rests, hopes for a better future, fears brought to life. All reminders that you are alive. I can see your eyes fluttering shut. Don't worry. Feel free to relax, to let go. You drifted off a few times there. Did you dream? No signs of nausea, fever, hemorrhaging. I dare say, if there were to have been any less than desirable side effects, they would have taken claim of you by now. Now, as much as I've enjoyed our time together, the small issue of payment remains. I accept all your traditional payment methods, gemstones, precious articles, your eternal servitude, standard payment methods. May I see what you've brought me? Oh, it's even gift wrapped. How thoughtful. A ring. What do you think? It appears to be cursed. It'll make a fine addition to my collection. A deal is struck. I do hope you don't have far to walk in that storm. I really ought to walk you. No, I insist. It would be an awful shame if you were to catch your death of cold, or worse. There's things that lurk in the woods here, you see, just beyond the lights of the town. Hungry things. I'm sure you understand. Let me just blow out these candles, and we can be on our way.